Hi guys, thank you for tuning in and watching these parenting videos. These videos are designed and shot in a way that will give you bite-sized information and allow you to up your parenting game, as it were, so that we can deal and manage our children in a way that will benefit everybody. So in this particular video, we're going to learn a way on how to communicate with our children so that we communicate in a way that has substance, quality, and a manner that creates high impact and yields high results. So the thing we're going to talk about today is something called TTP. So what is TTP? TTP stands for the Total Truth Process. This is a process that was created by Jack Canfield. Now, what he says is basically when we communicate as parents, and by the way, this strategy is not just for parents to children. You can use this from parents to spouse and anyone you care about who you consider a family member or friend. The Total Truth Process allows you to express not just one particular emotion, but all our emotions. Perhaps, in fact, the best way for you to think about your emotions is that your emotions are like a rainbow. You have different colors and different intensities, and it's not fair for you to just show one color and only one color to one person. Because guess what? When you do that, when you show just one particular emotion more than anything else on all your other emotions, that one person that receives that one emotion more than all your other emotions will tend to form a picture of you that is incorrect and incomplete. So for example, if you always show your children that you're always angry, or you always show your children that you're always hurt, they're going to develop an image in their mind of you that, oh, this is a person that's always angry or always hurt, and I have to be careful around him or her. So really, our emotions span a vast, I would say, spectrum, and what we need to do is we have to show these people that we love all our emotions to create a better, well-rounded picture so that when they look at us, they don't just see one emotion, they see the complete picture. The Total Truth Process is made up of 9 different emotions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what each of the emotions are real quickly so you get an overall view, and then we'll get into detail as to how you can actually relate your emotions, or these emotions rather, while you speak. So the first emotion is anger. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is hurt. Hurt. The third one is afraid or fear. The fourth one is regret. What are you sorry for? Okay. The fifth one is the cutoff point, which I'll talk about in a sec. But the cutoff point is wanted. Okay. What have you wanted for your child? What I want from you. Then it's understand. What do you understand from their point of view? Then it's forgive. I forgive you for, and do you forgive me for? And last but not least, it's love. I love you, or I like you. Okay? Because obviously if you're talking to a colleague, you can't go, hey man, I love you dude. Right? So you say, I love you for family members, and I like you for people who you don't necessarily love, but you like anyway. So one of the easiest ways to actually remember all 9 emotions is to think of the acronym AHAR WAFL, which is angry, hurt, afraid, regret, wanted, appreciate, understand, forgive, and love. So you're able to remember all 9 using that acronym. Right, so now let's get into detail into what each emotion is and how to execute it in real life. Our very first emotion is anger. Now, when you're in this emotion, this is where you start, of course, depending on what exactly you're addressing with the child. If you're not angry with the child, then obviously you don't have to start with anger. But you're going to pick and choose, and you have to follow the flow of AHAR WAFL. In other words, if you're not angry, then you move down to the next emotion, which is hurt. But let's say you are angry and it's the first emotion you're on the list. You're going to spend the least amount of time here, and you're not going to spend too much time here because you don't want to leave such a strong lasting impact on this emotion, because it can be quite damaging. So the first emotion, as I said, is anger, and here you're going to talk about all the different things that the child has done that may have made you upset, and why it upset you. Okay, but as I say, we're not going to spend too much time here. So let me give you a brief example. I'm angry with you. We agreed not to do this. You gave me your word and you broke your promise. Okay, so that's anger. After that, you're going to move down to the next emotion, which is hurt. Now, when you're in hurt, you're going to talk about all the different things that the person has done that has hurt you and has affected you, and you are genuinely hurt. Do your best in this segment to actually, in this particular emotion rather, to pull out all the reasons and appeal to their logical and emotional side at the same time. So this is what it probably will look like. I'm hurt. I'm hurt because I spent all day and night working, And we made an agreement that you will not do this particular action. You will not do this. And you gave me your word, and I'm so hurt because I thought I could trust you. Okay, so that's hurt. You probably also realize that every emotion needs to have the proper expression in your face and your vocal as well. Because if you're going to stand there and be angry and be like, I'm angry with you, it's not going to work. You have to it's got to come from the heart. It is, after all, an emotion. You have to actually dig in and pull it out. Okay? And it's got to show. So it's sincere. The next one, of course, is afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if you continue doing this, being someone who is dishonest and someone who cannot keep a promise, how are you going to turn out in life? So in the afraid emotion, you are focusing on the different things that you're concerned about for this child. The next emotion is regret. This is where you apologize for some of the things that you may have or may have not done that may have led to this situation happening. So here's an example. Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not around often enough. I know I'm working really hard, but that doesn't mean that you can go and do things behind my back. Maybe I should be around more. I know. I'm sorry. The next emotion you're going to talk about is wanted. Now, this emotion is the cutoff point, as it were. Once you start talking about what you've wanted for the child, all I ever wanted was this. Once you start talking about this, you might not want to go back. It's not advisable to actually go back to why you're angry or why you're hurt or why you're afraid and what you regret. You're going to leave all that behind because this is the cutoff point. Once you pass the wanted emotion, everything has to be positive. So you've done all the negative emotions, but now you're going to reach the cutoff point, which is wanted, all I've ever wanted, and after that's all positive. So from this point, you're not allowed to go back to the negative side. Okay? Stay on the good side. Alright, so here we go. Here is wanted. When you talk about wanted, you're going to talk about all the things that you've ever wanted for the child, all the good things you've ever wanted them to achieve, and what you expect of them. Alright, so this is what it looks like. All I've ever wanted was for you to take control of your life and be someone that can make everybody proud. That's all. That's all I've ever wanted. I don't want anything more. You know, most parents will want, the children to, do certain things, but not me. I just want you to be honest and keep your word. That's it. That's all I've ever wanted. The next emotion is appreciate. This is where you make them feel good by acknowledging the things that they have done. Do your best to actually think of some good ones too. And once you're in there and you're ready to go, this is what it should look like. I really appreciate you. You are one of the most valuable people in my family. There's no one I trust more than you. Whenever I need help with my gadgets or my computer, you're the first person I go to. I don't know what I'll do without you. I really appreciate you in my life. So that's appreciate. You're now going to move down to the next emotion. The next emotion is understand. This is where you seek to form some form of empathy with the person. So you have to consider what the other person is going through, some of their challenges. Acknowledge those things and state how you understand what life is like for them in their space. You have to enter their world a little bit. I understand that, as a student, it may not be easy to juggle your time. You have a lot of work. I know that. I was there. I know exactly what it's like. I completely understand that. And you know what? It's not going to get any easier. The older you grow, the harder you study, the more successful you become, the less time you have. So I know that it's not easy. But we still have to keep our promises to one another. And I know that it's not easy. It's very hard to do that. But I also know that you can do it. I trust you to do it. Moving on to the last two emotions now. The next one is forgive. This is where you're going to forgive the person. At the same time, you're going to seek forgiveness. So this is what it looks like. I forgive you. I forgive you because I know you're not going to do it again. But on top of all that, I forgive you because you deserve it, forgiveness. And I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me too for not being here as much as I should be. The last one is, of course, love. And I know that for us here in Asia, love to say I love you to our family members may be a bit weird, a bit uncomfortable. So I'm going to give you a few strategies on how you can do this. Okay, love is expressed in many different ways. So you can express love with physical touch, giving gifts. You can spend time with someone. Just sitting down, right, with them is enough to show love. So what you're gonna do is look at them in the eye. The best scenario is to look them in the eye and say, I love you very much. And a hand on the shoulder, perhaps a kiss on the forehead for the child would be good. Okay, doing that to your colleague might not be so good. So, a hug, a kiss, saying I love you very much is a very good way to actually show love. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can of course just write it on a card, a note, and give it to them so they can see it at their own time, and away from you, so you don't feel that awkward feeling that most people get. But beyond that, there's really no other way you can show love. So I will leave it to you as a parent. You know the best way to show love to your child. If you're not talking to your child, talking to a friend, you can just say, I really appreciate you. You're like my best friend. That alone is just to show love and the fact that you like this person that you're with. So that's that. That is the whole Total Truth process, all 9 emotions. Please do your best to sort of be in there, be present in the emotions, and of course, look at the graphic that's on the screen now. You can see the triangle, the pyramid. The pyramid indicates the amount of time you're supposed to spend on each emotion. Notice anger has the least amount of time, and the most amount of time are the more positive emotions at the bottom, which is forgive, appreciate, love. Those emotions deserve more time, because the science behind that, the psychology behind that is that by giving more exposure to these emotions, the child will develop a stronger sense of who you are and form the right image of you in their mind. They will also know that you have the negative emotions and they don't like those, but they know that at the end of the day, you are more of a positive person than you are a negative person, and they will appreciate that much, much more. So that's it. That's the Total Truth process, and I hope that you implement it in your life. I know I've implemented it in mine. It's changed the way I form relationships with the people I really care about, because now they see not just one side of me, but all the sides of me. Because let's face it, if you really love someone, that's exactly what they deserve. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.